Yeah, Colorado's Travis Hunter was impressive last year. A two-way player, won the Heisman, best player in college football. Minnesota's Koi Perich is going to top him this year as a three-way player. What's PJ Fleck up to? Locked on Big Ten starts right now.
You are Locked On Big Ten, your daily podcast on the Big Ten Conference. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome to Locked On Big Ten. I'm Craig Sheeman, 40 years as a sports talk show host and play-by-play announcer. I want to thank you for making us your first listen each and every day. We are free and available wherever you get your podcasts and on YouTube, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Hit that free subscribe button down below. You'll never miss a single episode. Plus, you can share it, like, and follow because that really helps us out. Thank you very much for all of that. Today's episode is brought to you by Game Time. Download the Game Time app and create an account. Use the code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off your first purchase. So, who is Koi Perich and how will the top Heisman Trophy winner Travis Hunter from last year? We have our Locked On top 100 college football players this year. I'll explain what this is all about here. It is a group effort. I'm going to bring it to you here today. Plus, we'll have our pick segment, including Heisman Odds, and where does Koi Perich fit in that, by the way? That might be somebody you want to jump on early. So who exactly is Koi Perich, and how will he top last year's Heisman Trophy winner, Travis Hunter? First of all, let's recall what Travis Hunter did. All right, he was an outstanding wide receiver and corner for Deion Sanders in Colorado last season. And as a wide receiver, played 714 snaps, caught 96 passes for 1,200 yards and 15 touchdowns. All stats put him in the top 5 nationally in each category. And he won the Biletnikoff Award as the best wideout in the country. On defense, as a defensive back, he played another 748 snaps, made 36 tackles, broke up 11 passes, and picked off 4 passes. Those numbers would have been higher, but teams quit throwing in his direction because he was so good. When they did throw, he had the best interception per target ratio of any Power 4 player. For that, he won the Bednarik Award as the best defensive player in the country. See why he won the Heisman? Absolutely. So then he became the second player in the draft in April, and now he's with the Jacksonville Jaguars, and they're figuring out how to use him on both sides of the ball. So let's come back now to the Big Ten and ask, what is the plan with Minnesota's Koi Perich? He's just a sophomore, and Minnesota doesn't get as much national attention as, say, Colorado got the last 2 seasons after Deion Sanders took over that program. But Perich had a great freshman year last season. As a true freshman, mind you, just a tremendous athlete. Played free safety for him. He was first team All Big Ten. Again, true freshman. That's pretty rare. Had 5 interceptions last year. By the way, that's more than Travis Hunter. And that tied him for 4th nationally. And he led all freshmen in the country in interceptions. This kid is the real deal. And he chose to stay in state and play for Minnesota. Could have gone to Ohio State. Didn't. Played for the Gophers. And he was a two-way player in high school at Esco High School, which, if you don't know where that is, I didn't either. It's about a 2-hour drive north of Minneapolis. Might as well be Canada as far as I'm concerned. It's up there. At Big Ten Media Days, PJ Fleck, the head coach of the Gophers, said that they would let him play both ways. They would have done it as a freshman, but he was not an early enrollee. He came in June, started practice, and then his classes fall semester just right away. He wasn't there for spring football, was not an early enrollee to kind of get his feet wet. So they didn't really want to overload this kid, and kind of worked it. And they dabbled with him on offense a little bit in practice. No big deal, just to get everybody's feet wet. That was last year. Never did it in a game. But it seems like this year they're going to throw everything but the kitchen sink at this kid. Everything they can handle. And based on his performance, he can play special teams as well. A three-way player. This kid may never leave the field. Again, he's a tremendous athlete. He can probably do it. Spent all summer working on his conditioning and all that. During his senior year in high school, he scored as a runner, a receiver, a passer, a punt returner, a kickoff returner, and scored on defense. Good size. It's 6'1", 200 pounds. Played hoops in high school. Good athlete. Did track and field, by the way, where he was a long jump state champion. He can do just about anything he wants. He's fast. Ran a 40-yard dash in 4.4. Got a 40-inch vertical. That's over 3 feet, by the way. His teammates just call him a freak show. He is. He's a freak show, just an athletic freak show. And with all of his abilities, Fleck may even line up Perich behind center in wildcat formation because he can throw, kind of the way that Penn State used tight end Ty Warren a few times last year. His senior year, he also rushed for 700 yards and 16 touchdowns. I mean, he can do anything. He can throw, he can run, he can catch, plays defense, makes tackles, not afraid of contact. He can jump, he can run. He does it all. So whether it's this year, whether it's next year or beyond, this kind of athlete, let's be real, this is what future Heisman trophies are, Heisman Trophy winners are made of. And I haven't really seen too much hype for Perich as a Heisman favorite going into this year. But if he's healthy and he plays all these positions and plays them a high volume, not just a play here or there on offense, he's going to get some national attention. And in case you're wondering whether a Gopher has ever won the Heisman, the answer is yes. Halfback Bruce Smith won it way back in 1941. In fact, did you know the Gophers, they won back-to-back national championships in 1940 and 1941. They were pretty good back in the World War II era. In fact, Smith delivered his Heisman acceptance speech 2 days before Pearl Harbor. So it's been a while since they've gotten any Heisman attention at Minnesota. It certainly was a while ago. But if they're going to use this kid and he's successful and they win games and they win a lot of games, he's going to start receiving some national attention. We're starting it right now. And let's face it, an 8 or 9 win season for Minnesota with PJ Fleck, not out of the question. And that's kind of the norm there. That's what PJ Fleck does. He can put up 8 wins, 9 wins. And I think their schedule is manageable. I was looking at it earlier today, and their highest profile games are at Ohio State on October 4th and at Oregon November 14th. If he does these kind of things on a big level, on a big stage like that, he'll get some attention. So I want to talk about, we don't frequently do individual player features here on Locked On Big Ten. Maybe we should do some more. We'll kind of talk about the teams and the big picture stuff with college football a lot. But I thought this was worthy of our attention here as we turn the calendar into the month of August and get ready for the season. Maybe you didn't know about them. Maybe you do. I'd love to hear your comments and your thoughts on them. Hit us up with the comment section here on YouTube. Be sure to hit that free subscribe button down below. Just a couple weeks ago, we went over 20,000 subscribers. 2 years ago, we took over this channel with about 1,000. Now we're at 20,000. It was our goal to do it before the season because of you guys. We got there before Big Ten Media Days. So thank you for that. Let's put the push on to 25,000 before the end of the calendar year. That'll be fantastic. And share, follow, and like Locked On Big Ten. I know if you're a Big Ten fan, you've got friends and family that like Big Ten, right? Tell them we're out here each and every day. We'd really appreciate that. We also have a website, talkbig10.com. We have all of our podcasts go there, plus school merchandise. You're a Minnesota Golden Gophers fan. You can get some Gophers, t-shirts, hats, pennants, all that stuff right there at our website with all of our podcasts. If you want to go back for a second listen and catch yesterday's, for example, at talkbig10.com. All right, coming up, we got a little bit of news here, a lot of recruiting news, a lot of stuff with Oregon. Very, very interesting. An injury at Ohio State on the practice field. I'll have the latest on that. Plus, we'll look at Locked On's top 100 and how many Big Ten players made it in there. This is all at college. So I'll explain what this is all about. We'll do that in just a minute right here as we continue on Locked On Big Ten. Drip Drop. You're trying to stay hydrated here this summer? Drip Drop is for you. it's important to stay hydrated, and everything just works better. Your energy, your mood, your focus, your complexion. But you got to get enough fluids every day. And sometimes it's not easy. I live here in Florida. We just sweat all the time. Always working on hydration here. That's why you love Drip Drop. Drip Drop. It's fantastic. My go-to flavor, peach. Love it. Game changer after a cardio workout, or like I said, just walking outside in Florida. That's all it takes. Drip Drop, it's a go-to, especially during these long summer days. Right now, Drip Drop is offering Locked On listeners 20% off your first order. Just head to dripdrop.com and you can use the promo code Locked On College. That's dripdrop.com, promo code Locked On College for 20% off. Stock up now before the heat hits too hard here for the rest of the summer. Thanks for checking us out every day here on Locked On Big Ten, especially you everydayers. Thank you. You make us go. That is for sure. Meanwhile, hit that free subscribe button down below. Share, follow, and like Locked On Big Ten, your team every day. And check out our website, talkbig10.com. All right. I mentioned a moment ago there was an injury Thursday at Ohio State. Defensive tackle Edric Houston, who's penciled in as a starter this year, was carted off the practice field on Thursday after suffering a lower leg injury. This was the first on-field practice for the Buckeyes. Just bad timing. But good news. Later in the day, Ryan Day was asked about it as soon after practice was over with the media there. He said he wasn't sure yet. It was too early. Later on in the day, it seemed that the injury was not as serious as far as a serious long-term situation. No word on how long he'll be out. Again, he's a projected starter at defensive tackle, and that's the one area maybe that the Buckeyes are a little thin at. So they skipped a heartbeat. They're a little scared today, but I think they're going to be okay at that position. Let's talk about the Oregon Ducks. First of all, into the future, 2027. Wide receiver Xavier Saab. He's the number 12 receiver in the country right now. He's a 5-star. He's from New Jersey. By the way, he's teammates with his 3-star brother for the class of 2026. But Oregon looks like they may have the inside edge on this kid early, and he plays both sides of the ball. He's a defensive back and a wide receiver. This may be the thing where everybody will have a player that could go both ways. We'll see what happens with that. And Oregon also landed a commit from 5-star edge Tank Jones, class of 2026. More icing on the cake of this great class. He was considering Alabama and Texas A&M, but he made his announcement Thursday live on the Pat McAfee show on ESPN. It was quite the stir, quite the big deal. You look at the 5 stars that Oregon is hauling in. They got 5 stars that include tight end, Kendra Harrison. There's safety Jet Washington, offensive tackle Emmanuel Ahian Aho. He's coming, and all these 5 stars coming in puts Dan Lanning's class of 2026 inside the top 10 at 8th, according to national rankings. And they're still expected to get some positive notes from a couple 4 stars before it's all over. Corner David Benjamin and defensive lineman Deuce Geralds. They may commit to Oregon in the next couple of days. And man, what are we looking at? A top 5 class for Dan Lanning in Oregon? Maybe. And then Nebraska, trying to flip a kid from Colorado, an O-lineman, happens to be the number 1 commit for Deion Sanders in Colorado for 2027. Offensive lineman Rice Russell. And Washington is also in the mix trying to steal this kid. 6'3", 290 pounds, still growing, and he's projected at center. So we'll see. All right, let me explain to you what's going on. So I know a lot of times you'll see some top 100 players, this or that, NFL, college football. The whole Locked On family put together its own top 100 college football players. All the Locked On schools of the Big Ten, the SEC, all these guys, ACC. We got like over 100 of us out here, all put together and compiled a top 100 list, top 100 players in college football. Now, I will tell you, I organized quite a bit to favor Big Ten players. I've looked at this list. A lot of people worked hard on it. I'm going to poo-poo on some of this list. It seems to me that my colleagues who do not follow Big Ten did not vote for any of our Big Ten players because they're later in this list than they should be. And I'm going to point it out because we're fair and honest here. All right. So let's put this on screen and we're going to start at the bottom and we'll zip through it. I know you think 100 might be kind of daunting. Here's the list of the 91 through 100. You got Dane Key from Nebraska. This is the kid that came over from Kentucky. And I think this is going to be a great weapon for Dylan Raiola. And also Lapani Alalu, the offensive lineman for Oregon here at 94. Zane Durant, defensive tackle, Penn State, 95. Darius Taylor at 97, the running back from Minnesota. Ridiculous that he's this low on this list. It's like some of these other people have never heard of Darius Taylor. He is phenomenal going into year 3 with Minnesota. Might be, I'd put him in top 3 or 4 running backs of the Big Ten. You got Jennings Dunker, the offensive lineman at Iowa in there. Dylan Raiola at 99. That's also ridiculous. He's better than that. So anyway, that's the last 10. Let's move up 81 to 90. Logan Jones, offensive lineman, Iowa 82. He should be higher. He's the best center in the Big Ten. Linebacker Bryce Botcher from Oregon is in there. Carnell Tate, wide receiver at Ohio State. Look, I know he's not Jeremiah Smith, but he's not 86. He's better than that. And so that's it for some Big Ten kids. Let's move to 71 to 80, according to my colleagues. I voted on this too. I voted for these kids much higher. I'll tell you that right now. Let's see here. More of the top 100 presented by Monarch. Tacario Davis, defensive back from the Washington Huskies. Fernando Mendoza at 74, quarterback in Indiana. Look, I get it. A lot of people didn't notice him much at Cal. Here's the deal. There are a lot of people that think Fernando Mendoza, first of all, he's better than Curtis Rourke, who led Indiana to an 11-1 record last year, number one. Number two, he was at Cal last year where they had a horrible offensive line. All this kid did was run for his life and still put up some numbers. Indiana has a very good offensive line. He will put up a lot of numbers. They're talking about him being a first-round pick in the NFL. So there's no way he's 74th, but this just tells me a lot of people aren't very familiar with him yet. I bet if we did this list at the end of the year, he will be significantly higher than 74th. Same thing with Kenyon Sadiq, the tight end at Oregon. Way better than the 75th player in the country. Way better. This is way too low. Luke Altmaier, 79th. The veteran quarterback for Illinois, he's got to be higher. So yeah, I'm picking a lot of bones off. I'm just very perplexed. Like, do my colleagues ever watch Big Ten football? They watch their own teams. All right, here we go. It's fun anyway. That's why we're doing this. Let's see, 61 through 70. Jonah Coleman, I would put higher. A very steady, strong run. He's one of those top 3-4 running backs in the Big Ten. Here he is, 62nd. Also, Davison Igbinosun, the corner at Ohio State. He's one of the few returning players on the Ohio State defense. I think they only have 3 starters coming back from last year's national championship. He's one of them. All right. So that's 61 through 70. Let's take a look at 51 through 60. Mekhi Lemon, wide receiver at USC, probably could be higher. Denzel Boston, Washington wide receiver, definitely higher than 52. Elijah Surratt at 57. See, I would have him even higher than Lemon or Boston, and I'll tell you why. I have said this numerous times on numerous podcasts. Elijah Surratt is the best receiver in the Big Ten, not named Jeremiah Smith at Ohio State. 57, way too low. Look out. He's going to have a big, big year. All right, we're inside the top 50 now. And Mikhail Kamara, defensive lineman for Indiana. Ricardo Hallman, very good corner at Wisconsin, coming up at number 45. Rod Moore at 46, defensive back. Look, Rod Moore, I hope he is 46. He hasn't played in 18 months. He's been injured, and he's still not 100%. So I don't know what you do with a ranking like that on potential. He played on the national championship team with Jim Harbaugh's team. Hasn't played since that game. I don't know where you put him on the top 100. I mean, as a healthy player, he definitely was an NFL prospect. No question about that. D'Angelo Pons at 50, defensive back for Indiana. I like him in the top 50. Got a great nose for the ball. 31-40, Arch Manning. It's interesting. I don't mind Arch being at 31, the quarterback at Texas, who will open up against the Ohio State Buckeyes. But here's the deal. We have spent all summer. Who's the player you've heard about the most? Arch Manning this, Arch Manning that. And yet he really hasn't played. He filled in a little bit here and there along with Quinn Ewers, and now he's going to be the main guy for the first time. Hasn't really done anything yet. So do you rank him higher or not? Probably appropriately ranked here to start off the season. Mateo Yu, defensive end at Oregon. I don't like him at 33. He should be higher. He's probably going to lead the Big Ten in sacks this year, right? And I think Sonny Styles, linebacker, top 40 player at Ohio State. And it's probably about right. Now, 21 through 30. Sam Levitt, quarterback at Arizona State, 21. He, former Michigan State product, remember? Now at Arizona State, he's looking pretty good. Danny Dennis Sutton, 22. I like him there. Up on the defensive front for that Penn State Nittany Lion defense. Also, Nicholas Singleton, one of those stellar running backs that I say, hey, we got like top 4 guys in the league. He might be the top one at running back at Penn State at 25. A.J. Harris, the corner at Penn State at 27. Gabe Jacobs at the edge rusher at Illinois. And Dylan Thieneman, the defensive back at Oregon. I have said this many times. He came from Purdue, 2 years of Purdue. His freshman year, he was freshman of the year. Had like 6 interceptions. I think he is the transfer portal get of the year in the Big Ten. So I like him starting out here at 30, but you're going to hear a lot about him as well. All right, let's crack 11 through 20. We have just one Big Ten player on this list, and it's Drew Aller at 20. Now, let me ask you this. Drew Aller, most experienced quarterback in college football, coming back this year, and expectations to win it all. And yet he's 20th. Like, I'm not saying put him in the top 10, because there's some other quarterbacks in the top 10 which deserve to be there. But shouldn't Drew Aller be a little higher than the 20th player in the country? I think so. All right, here's the final list, 1 through 10. Here we go. Look at that. 1 and 2, Ohio State. Jeremiah Smith, number 1, the wide receiver, the safety. Caleb Downs, number 2. You know what this means? This means that at any time, no matter what side of the ball Ohio State is playing on, they will have the best player on the field at all times. They'll have the best offensive player, Jeremiah Smith. They'll have the best defensive player, Caleb Downs. Also on this, there's Jeremiah Love, a running back from Notre Dame, had that 99-yarder against the Hoosiers in the playoffs. Ryan Williams, wide receiver at Alabama. I don't have a problem with that. He's excellent going into his sophomore season there. Cade Klubnik is the highest rated quarterback on this list. That's probably correct. A lot of expectations there at Clemson this year. Garrett Nussmeier. Every time I get in a conversation about Garrett Nussmeier, he's very polarizing. Some think he's really great, and some are like, why is he ranked 8th? So anyway, there you have it. The look at the top 10, part of our Locked On Top 100, presented by Monarch Money. All right. There we have it with our list. Pretty good, pretty complete. Like I said, I just think it was back end heavy of Big Ten players that should have been ranked a lot higher, in my opinion. What do you think? Love your opinion on this stuff. Go ahead and hit me up on all that with the comment section as well. Coming up, we got our picks segment that we like to do to go into the weekend. We're going to look at the Heisman odds since we started talking about Koi Perich, and of course, all these top-ranked players will be in the Heisman mix at all as well. I thought we'd update the Heisman odds. We did it several weeks ago. They've changed. The odds have. We always give a little update on that. We'll take care of that in just 1 minute right here on Locked On Big Ten. Game Time will help you get your tickets. That's right. Want to go to a summer concert? You don't want to fumble through, try to look for tickets from all these sources and too many tickets to get them dialed in. Game Time helps you do that. Get the app, get the Game Time app, download it. Takes the stress out of ticket buying, takes the stress away. Makes getting concert tickets faster and easier than ever. Prices actually drop the closer you get to showtime. You can save up to 60% off their last minute killer deals for tickets there And instead of scrolling, just go right to Game Time's Zone Deals pick. It picks the best seats in your section for you. That's right. And if you want to see the view of the seat, the ticket you're about to buy, you look at it right there on your phone before you buy it. Game Time. Best cancellation protection in the business as well. Life happens. Maybe you can't make it at the last second. Game Time will take care of you. Take the guesswork out of buying concert and show tickets with Game Time, sporting events too. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use the code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code LOCKEDONCollege, LOCKEDONCOLLEGE for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. All right, let's take a look at our pick segment that we do every Friday of any season. We're going to look at the updated Heisman Trophy odds and pick the top 10 players in the country according to the odds. Then I went through the list and pulled out middle of the road Big Ten players and where they are. And then Koi Perich, where does he go? We spent a lot of time talking about him today. Going to be a three-way player at Minnesota. Let's put it on the screen here. Here are the top 10. Arch Manning, still number one at plus 700. 100 gets you 700 from Texas. Cade Klubnik and Garrett Nussmeier, two guys we just talked about in the top 10 at plus 900. Yeah, Arch Manning was 31st on our list, plus 700, number one in the Heisman chase. Klubnik and Nussmeier were in our top 10. They're plus 900. Ohio State, first Big Ten player and first non-quarterback, Jeremiah Smith at plus 1,300. Miami's Carson Beck at plus 1,800. Lenora Sellers, South Carolina. I like this kid. Plus 1,800, might sprinkle a little something there. Penn State's Drew Aller also at plus 18. Alabama, Ty Simpson, plus 18 as well. Ohio State, their young quarterback, and Michigan State's former quarterback, now Arizona State, Sam Levitt, both coming in at plus 2,000 money. All right. Now, I jumped out of the top 10 and just started looking for Big Ten guys. Oregon's Dante Moore actually was 11th at plus 2,500. Further down the list, Indiana's Fernando Mendoza, plus 5,000. Might be worth a sprinkle. Bryce Underwood out of Michigan and Lincoln Kienholz, the other quarterback for Ohio State at plus 5,000. Look, we think Julian Sands can be the starter. Kienholz will be the backup. These odds may change if that changes. But Nebraska's Dylan Raiola at plus 6,500. Damon Williams Jr., I think, is going to be the breakout player of the year for the Big Ten. The quarterback at Washington comes in at plus 6,500, as did USC's Jaden Maeva, who takes over after taking over for Miller Moss in November last year, and he's still the guy there. So Lincoln Riley must see something. He didn't try and upgrade or get somebody else in the portal. He's sticking with them, plus 6,500. Nico Iamaleava, who transferred from Tennessee to UCLA, is at plus 10,000. And there you have it at the bottom. Koi Perich, the player we featured today in our podcast, plus 50,000. That means $100. If he wins the Heisman, get you $50,000. Get it now. Sprinkle with something now before he starts getting some national attention. That's what I say. All right. Let me know what you think. I'm always interested in your comments. That was our pick segment as we head into the weekend. We'll keep an eye out for the latest news, but you can come here every day, talk Big Ten, or Locked On Big Ten. Our website's talkbig10.com, where we have all 18 teams, news, analysis of that news, and opinion. Plus, we have audio and video versions of this podcast all in one place. It makes us the most unique Big Ten podcast in the country right here. You're watching us. Tell your friends about us, that we're here each and every day. Subscribe for free so you never miss a single episode all season long. Go back and check out a second listen of Locked On Big Ten this weekend. Just kind of peruse through, flip through a few. Let me know what you think. Also invite you for a second listen with our friend Brian Smith at the Portal Show. It's part of the Locked On family on YouTube, wherever you get your podcasts. That'll do it for us. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. Teams are practicing now. We're getting closer to the games. We can't wait. I'm sure you can as well. For Locked On Big Ten, thanks for joining us. I'm Craig Sheeman. We'll see you next time.